The main problem we're hearing from all sides is this sinking feeling that this doesn't feel like America anymore. It's a quiet panic turning into a public scream, and today we're going to listen in, not just to the usual critics, but to the people who are starting to question the very movement they once championed. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
I'm just wondering, to all the Trump supporters, are you happy now? Are you happy that RFK, with no medical or scientific background to head the Department of Health? Are you happy with a Fox News commentator to head the Department of Defense? Are you happy that Heritage Foundation cronies in the cabinet?
Listen to what she's laying out. It's not a secret, it's a business plan. And for all the dudes screaming fear-mongering, this is like someone handing you the architectural drawings for your own prison cell, and you complain about their tone of voice. The practical advice here is brutally simple. Stop listening to the commentators telling you what's in the plan. Spend 10 minutes, just 10, and read any random section for yourself. You don't need a PhD to understand it. Ask yourself one question as you read. Does this expand my freedom or someone else's power over me? Ignoring the user manual for your own potential future is a choice you can't afford to make.
Yeah, Project 2025 is real. This is going to affect so many people. And yeah, I'm angry. I have 4 granddaughters. Where will their rights be? If they're assaulted, I would move heaven and earth for them not to have to carry the spawn of a rapist. And if you think that that's okay, shame on you. That's inhumane and disgusting. And then to give paternal rights to a rapist, shame on you. And my friends that love differently than you, it's shameful. I spent years of my life as a member of a big church, and I believed. I believed in their message. I believed in them as people, that they were good-hearted. No. I left that church when my friends who were gay were condemned for loving who they love. And then the pastor's wife, elected to Republican office, state representative, Trumper, watching her during COVID, dancing around in a grocery store with no mask on, while thousands of our very own neighbors were sick and dying.
This right here. This is the sound of a belief system shattering under the weight of hypocrisy. It's easy to dismiss her pain, but what she's describing is a loyalty crisis, fellas. Your loyalty can't be to a person or a party, because people are flawed. They rust, they break, they disappoint. Your loyalty has to be to your principles. The moment the person you support starts acting in direct opposition to the values you claim to hold, you have a choice. Do you twist your values to fit their actions, or do you hold the line? One path leads to integrity. The other leads to you becoming a walking contradiction, defending things you know are wrong just to stay on the team.
I don't believe anymore. The hypocrisy is just astounding. Damning my gay friends for loving who they love, and then supporting an adjudicated rapist to hold the highest office in the land. What are you saying to our children? Boys walking around in school telling girls, your body, my choice. You all have done this. My own family did this. My own neighbors. It's disgusting.
Okay, I just arrived at the protest at Roseville Galleria, and I'm very emotional. And I'm just gonna make this video. This is the first time I've actually got on here and spoke on TikTok, but I have so many feelings and so many emotions. I'm shaking. I'm trying to compose myself. This is the biggest turnout. I've been to every protest at the Roseville Galleria in California. And my first one was an impromptu. I've never protested in my life. I was driving by and I saw it. And I was just inspired to get out and stand with everybody. I didn't have a sign. I didn't have anything. So then after that, I vowed that I would go to every protest that I could. Just seeing this huge turnout, there's hope. There's hope. We are not alone. You're not alone. So many of us are fighting. I just want to thank everybody who's been standing up against everything and coming out and showing up.
Before anyone jumps to call this woman an emotional snowflake, let's be real for a second. This is what taking action actually looks like. It's not always pretty. It's not always composed. It's messy and human. Many of you watching spend hours online talking about being lions, about fighting back, about not complying. But that energy dies the second you close the laptop. Here's the challenge. Pick one thing, just one thing you're pissed off about. Now, what's a single, tangible action you can take in the real world this week, not online, that addresses it? Showing up is a skill, and it's way harder than posting a meme. This woman is practicing that skill, are you?
This is the America I want for my boys. I'm fighting so hard for my boys and the future for them. An America they can be proud of. Today I'm feeling proud to be American again. Please be safe, everybody out there. And thank you. Thank you.
You are withholding your vote from any legislation other than DHS funding until this is done, and you call it a time for choosing. Why?
That's exactly right, because right now, the only thing that the American people care about is getting the Save America Act signed into law. Not doing a show vote in the Senate, not putting people on record to see which way they stand. It's getting it signed into law. We had 4 years under Joe Biden, where the Democrats let in millions of illegal aliens. Those people are going to vote in our election system. We've already seen many of them voting in the past. You're going to see a much bigger percentage of them voting in the future if we don't get this legislation signed.
Them, and where do you think they're getting this from?
There is zero validity to these claims, and I'm glad that you brought them up, because you have the Democrats who have created this myth, and it has been perpetuated, unfortunately, by many in the mainstream media. Let me be very clear. The Save America Act does not prohibit anyone from voting with the exception of illegal aliens. And the greatest way to disenfranchise American citizens from voting in American elections is to allow illegal aliens.
Let's dissect the game being played right here, because it's a masterclass. Step 1. Create a phantom menace. Millions of illegals are voting. A claim with virtually zero evidence at scale. Step 2. Stoke fear and rage against that phantom. Step 3. Propose a solution that doesn't fix the fake problem, but does make it harder for actual, legal citizens to vote, especially those who move, get married, or might not vote for you. It's a classic shell game. Your tool against this is one simple question. Cui bono? Who benefits? Who benefits from me being terrified of this specific group? And what power am I giving away while I'm distracted?
Aliens to vote, which is what Democrats want to do. We see it taking place in Democrat jurisdictions at the state and local level across this country. So the Save America Act corrects that. And as far as married women who have changed their name, if they're already registered to vote, they're entirely unaffected by the SAVE Act. And for the small fraction of individuals who have changed their name or their address, they can still register to vote, of course. They just have to go through their state processes to update that documentation. And this is something that the American people, married women and minorities and people all across this country who Democrats are insultingly saying cannot do this, they're already doing it every day, going to the Social Security office, going to the DMV, and I think it's frankly insulting that the Democrats are saying that there are certain groups of people in this country who aren't smart enough to update their documentation to allow them to vote. Again, this is a huge myth, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to address it.
I think that's unfortunate that nobody has ever tried to take a systematic look at how much fraud there is in the federal government. How many illegal aliens are on Medicaid? We know that it's billions and billions of dollars that should go to American citizens. It's going to illegal aliens. How many fraudulent daycare centers have been set up where that money should go to American citizens to help their kids get into childcare? Instead, it's being stolen from them by illegal aliens in our country. How much have government officials actually been complicit in this fraud because some of them have gotten wealthy, or at the least they've gotten campaign donations from the people who've gotten rich from that fraud? The story of the American economy in so many ways during the Biden administration bill is that the American citizen was ripped off for people who shouldn't be here and by politicians who should.
This narrative is the ultimate sleight of hand. They want you laser focused on the person with no power, the immigrant allegedly stealing daycare funds, so you don't notice the real heist. They're telling you to be furious about the pennies falling out of a hole in your pocket, while they back a truck up to the front door of the Treasury and load it with pallets of your cash in the form of tax cuts for billionaires and corporate subsidies. It's the oldest trick in the power playbook. Make the poor fight the poor so they never look up at who's actually robbing them blind. Stop looking down for scapegoats. Start looking up at the balance sheets. Follow the money, all of it.
Have known better. And the Trump administration, the president has asked me to take a full, whole government approach to trying to understand that.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. We used to have a president that can intimidate a former KGB agent and make Putin look like the little man he is. Because even surrounded by all the yes men that Putin has, even he understands he cannot withstand the might of the U.S. military. We spend too much money. And you know what? Even giving our stuff to Ukraine has allowed Ukraine to fight Russia back and hold them back for years now.
The idea of projecting strength is appealing. Nobody wants to follow weakness. But we have to get clear on what real strength looks like. Is it the loud, chest-thumping performance of a bully who calls prisoners of war suckers? Or is it the quiet resolve of someone who serves a cause greater than themselves? A truly strong leader doesn't need to tell you they're strong. Their actions show it. They take responsibility, they show respect for the institutions they lead, and they don't punch down. What we often see celebrated as strength is just deep-seated insecurity wearing a tough guy costume. Don't be fooled by the performance. Look for the character behind it.
But Putin doesn't have to attack us militarily. He wants to destroy the idea of America, the foundation of our democracy, the freedoms we hold dear as a country. And if he thought he succeeded when Trump first got into office, he definitely thinks he succeeded now, because our democracy is crumbling around us. We are turning into a police state. We have ever-increasing violent rhetoric from the White House, who is threatening to take away the rights of Americans that we hold dear. And Russia just gets to sit there and watch this happen in a much larger scale now.
November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country, I believe. And we will take back the nation that we love. Kamala Harris got you into this mess, and only Trump is going to get you out of it.
And a lot of the news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people like, AOC plus 3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings.
And there's the pivot, the classic whataboutism. It's the political equivalent of getting called out for cheating on your partner and screaming, yeah, but what about Genghis Khan? He killed millions. It's a deflection tactic designed to make you feel unreasonable for demanding better in your own home. Yes, other places are worse. That's not the point. You can hold two ideas at once. Other countries have horrific problems, and we must fix our own. Don't let anyone use someone else's tragedy to excuse their own failures.
So I wonder what's going on. I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing.
MSNBC invited a never-Trump voter on air to bash Donald Trump, and they were all shocked when instead of doing that, he said this.
No for you after that. Why was it important for you to say no more Trump because of his January 6th conduct? And do you stand by that?
No, I don't stand by it, and I'll tell you why. I've now lived 4 years under the Biden-Harris policies, and I have to say that those policies are not only becoming an existential threat to our country's way of life, but to our allies as well.
So when you,
and
this,
it has
is,
to,
this is,
no,
so
no,
Ambassador,
no,
this is, I'll let you finish, but
no,
this
I
is
want
so
to finish.
striking. You said it was a no for me after that, after January 6th.
I did.
And here we are right now.
I did.
And you're saying it's a yes for you.
It is a yes for me. It is an absolute yes for me. That is how badly the Biden-Harris team have prosecuted their...
This isn't the red pill moment his supporters think it is. This is the sound of a man running back to a toxic, abusive relationship because being alone for a few years was uncomfortable and scary. He's not choosing a better future. He's choosing a familiar brand of chaos over the uncertainty of the present. He's saying, well, the new situation isn't perfect, so I'd rather go back to the house that was actively on fire. This is a decision made from fear, not strength. The practical advice is this. When faced with two bad options, the answer isn't to run back to the one that caused the initial damage. It's to find or build a third option.
Job.
But the whole point you seem to be making was that January 6th and that kind of attack on democracy is bigger than any
But
policy.
I am seeing so many attacks on democracy that eclipse January 6th.
So I want to ask...
I gave 2 years of my life to serve this country. And I'm happy I did. Am I a loser or a sucker because I did that? No. I'm Bob. I live in Western New York, and I'm a former Trump voter. I will never vote for Trump again. Most dangerous to me is Trump's belief in being a dictator for a day. And what would I read from Project 25? It seems to me that that day is going to be a lot longer than a day. We're probably talking at least 4 years. America was founded by people that believe in democracy. Donald Trump does not believe in democracy. I want people to understand how important this election is for not only my generation, but my children, my grandchildren. I want people to understand, especially as a veteran, what these candidates bring to the table. We have Donald Trump calling dead veterans not worthy of a Congressional Medal of Honor because they're dead. I mean, seriously? I gave 2 years of my life to serve this country. And I'm happy I did. Am I a loser or a sucker because I did that? No. We should all serve this country, either the military or Peace Corps or something else. Donald Trump serves only Donald Trump.
This veteran just drew the brightest line in the sand. Patriotism is not a hat. It is not a flag on your truck. It is not allegiance to one man. Patriotism, in the American sense, is loyalty to a set of ideas enshrined in a document you're supposed to defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It is a commitment to the principle that no one person is above the law that governs us all. When you support a figure who openly suggests he is the exception to that rule, who serves only his own interests, you are no longer defending the Republic. You are auditioning for a role in its downfall. He's asking you to choose. Are you loyal to a man, or are you loyal to the United States of America? You cannot be both.
And that to me is just the most un-American thing I can think of. The question before us is really quite simple. Do we believe in America and stand with America and our American neighbors and friends, or do we not believe in America and do we just simply look out for ourselves and the hell with everybody else? I'm a pretty peaceful and joyful and kind person. I'm voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
The voices we heard today aren't just background noise. They are the sound of a country arguing with itself, trying to figure out what it stands for. If the feeling that something is deeply wrong is this widespread from every side, then maybe the most un-American thing we can do is ignore it. So, what do you think is the real cause of this feeling that America is slipping away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe.